Angel Dust is the fourth studio album by American rock band Faith No More, released on June 8th, 1992 by Slash and Reprise Records. It's the follow-up to 1989's highly successful The Real Thing and was the band's final album to feature guitarist Jim Martin. It was also the first album where vocalist Mike Patton had any substantial influence on the band's music. The band stated that they wanted to move away from the funk metal style of their prior releases and toward a more theatrical sound. I don't know if I believe this, but it says Angel Dust is Faith No More's best-selling album to date, having sold over 2.5 million copies worldwide. It also debuted at number 10 on the Billboard 200, making it the band's only top 10 album in the United States. Or maybe it is. Woo! There you go. Well, that was my fact-finding mission, Brad, on The Real Thing. It's a corker of an album. It's a corker. How you out there? You all right in space? You floating around there?
I'm out here with Bowie. But I just, for the sake of our listenership, I'd like to say the words cock, fanny, muff, lips, belly farts, bum leakage, and nipples. We had some complaints, Dan, that the smut wasn't coming until the end of our episode, so just thrown it at the start there for our more adult listeners.
I'd like to add meat curtains.
Oh, meat curtains is a solid one. And for those of you that joined us for the Marcy Playground episode, was it Meat Apron, I think, came out in that one? That's also
Meat Apron.
A favourite of mine. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good. All right. Perfect.
Angel Dust.
And Angel Dust, yes, that's what we are discussing this evening. It's not very religious, is it, for an album title that talks about angels?
Well, it says Faith No More.
Fuck. Okay, that completely went over my head.
Yeah, Angel Dust is actually a narcotic drug. It's the same stuff Rodney King was on when he got the shit beaten out of him by the police.
Was he the truck driver? No.
Well, he was more of a crazy person driving through the streets trying to kill people in a truck. It was in a ute, as we call them in New Zealand. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right. I'm up now we're up with our politics. Do go on.
And so, the theme of the album was beautiful things, and also, Angel Dust sounds beautiful, but it's a terrible drug. And this is an album that swings from the light and the dark, where it has bouncy, happy songs, and then it has very dark moments as well. It's a very thematical, beautiful picture of the swan on the cover, and then you open it up, it's a meatworks, all these cuts of meat hanging from the hooks.
Covers. What are you talking about? Nobody buys albums anymore. All you get is the front cover on Spotify, and that's it, right? So I am fully unaware of what the inside cover of Angel Dust looks like, and I don't think I'd be bothered to Google it.
Back in the day, we had CDs, we had cassettes. You used to open these up, and there was this whole experience in there you don't get anymore. They should have a digital equivalent. You should be able to look through the original artworks of these albums when you look them up on Spotify. They should be scanning them all in.
Yeah, easy. You should swipe through. Like, you can get all the lyrics, and they usually put music videos and stuff in there, come up automatically. But you need, all this great artwork has just been lost to time. Bring it back. Elon Musk, get on it. Buy Spotify.
I think isn't it Swedish people own Spotify?
Swedes. The only good thing that came out of Sweden was ABBA and Roxette.
They're both amazing. What's to complain about?
That's what I'm saying. They're the only good things to come out of Sweden.
What about hot blonde chicks?
You get hot blonde chicks from any country. Swedish ones you just can't understand as well.
With pigtails. Clogs. Yeah, clogs.
Is that the Swiss?
Yeah,
Sweets.
clocks. Yeah, clocks. Chocolate.
Is that all Swedish?
Yeah, all of it.
Okay. Geography. I have a
Swiss cheese. It's an amazing
Yes.
country, Brad.
no. Swiss cheese is a waste. All those holes in it. You're losing 15% of your cheese in the holes.
Well, a hole can be useful. We've all found useful uses for holes, haven't we, Brad? I mean,
Holes and cheese go hand in hand, like sunshine and rainbows.
if the cheese didn't have holes in it, you'd have to drill your own.
Yes, to keep yourself contented.
Handy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't think the Swiss made this album. It's an American album, Brad. San Francisco?
Mike Patton, Swiss? No,
No, they're all
probably
Californians.
probably had a Swiss groupie or two. You'd assume over the years.
I don't know his personal business, Brad, but he married a Italian lady and lived in Italy for quite a few years.
Well, sounds like you know his personal business there. No,
Well, he only tells me so much.
you just said you didn't know it, and then you said it. That's okay.
Michael Allen Payton. Yeah. 1960, I believe he was born.
You know, do you consider yourself? I consider myself a
Well, you'd be wrong.
No More fan, right? I might be wrong. This is where we're going to get to. Prior to you saying let's do Angel Dust, I was like, yeah, Faith No More. I'm a Faith No More fan. I'm going to love it. But I've realized, and I'm going to drop this out early in the episode, that maybe I'm just a fair weather Faith No More sellout fan than a Faith No More fan.
Why are you calling yourself a Faith No More fan then? What have you heard if you haven't heard this album?
So obviously I loved the song Epic, like everybody does. You can't not like that song. Great song, their first big hit.
Fantastic song, Brad. Yes, we agree.
Absolutely. And then, Easy. Everybody hears Easy. That is on this album for further discussion later. Great song, cover of the Commodores, right? Lionel Richie.
We're agreed. Mm-hmm. That's on the end of this album. It was tagged on later. The original cassette I bought didn't have Easy on it, but when they released it as the single, it came later. But it's the biggest. It's a big hit.
It's probably, I reckon, when we get to later on, that's going to be their most listened to Spotify track by some way, I reckon. But no spoilers. But to carry on, the first Faith No More album that I purchased myself was, when did it come out? 99's Ashes to Ashes? Was that 99? Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it was 98.
You're talking about Album of the Year.
Album of the Year, that is correct. Ashes to Ashes was the single, right?
Yeah.
I loved that song. I bought that album and I went, yeah, this is full of great tracks. It was brilliant. But I never bought any other Faith No More material, right? You and I, in our younger days, we probably had more hair on our heads. It may have been growing down near our ears somewhere back in those days. Went and saw Faith No More together. Brilliant show. Had a great time. Entertained from beginning to end.
I think that was Album of the Year, wasn't it? Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it was the tour for that album, yeah. And I had a great time. Great show, right? Brilliant. So upon putting this, album on the Spotify and hitting play and ready to have a close listen in preparation, as we do for this show, I found it sounded like Faith No More. It had all the hallmarks of their sound. But I didn't overly enjoy it, Dan.
Well, listeners of our show will know that this isn't a surprising turn from you.
No.
There's not a lot of things that you do like. You're pretty much at 1% of things in the world are actually acceptable to you.
Even the albums that I recommend that we listen to, I don't end up enjoying. But yeah, it was. I wanted to enjoy it, but I couldn't. I just couldn't get into it. I feel like it's one of those albums that if you go out and buy the CD or whatever, you put it on, the longer you live with it, the more I would enjoy it. You know, it's one of those albums. It's a grower, but it didn't have enough entry songs for me. You know what I mean? Like an easy getting in. Well, easy is obviously the easiest one to listen to. But I couldn't
find Midlife Crisis.
No,
Midlife Crisis.
Yep, I knew that song when it came on. I was familiar with it. And yeah, I guess to a point, but even then it's not an easy entry point. But I guess if you really dug that song, then the rest would become easier listens. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's a grower, but it didn't have a hooking point for me. If I was a fish swimming through the ocean and all the bait was the songs on this album, the easiest, juiciest piece of bait would be easy. Which is maybe why they tacked it on later.
What about Kindergarten?
No,
yeah, incredible. That's an easy song to get into, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm just laying it out there, and I know you're one of the biggest Faith No More fans in the world. So this is a hard argument to make, but I found like I really wanted to enjoy it, but I couldn't find that entry point to keep going. Yep, and having it grow on me. I went off on other tangents listening to other albums instead of this one when I should have been listening to this, you know? But that's my just overview. I mean, we'll get into the songs and stuff. But yeah, so I don't know, can I call myself a Faith No More fan if I don't highly rate this album?
Not really. This is pretty much considered the cream of the crop. This is the one.
All right.
This is one of the most praised records from them. Pretty much, I don't know. I think unanimously at this point, it launched a lot of ships. It's an album that pretty much everyone who bought it started a band after hearing this. You hear about Korn and lots of bands all went, "Wow, this fucking album."
I guess I can see the influence with the tone of the recording. But I just, it didn't have the songs for me. Let's get into it, right? You're a big fan of Faith No More. What do you think their best album is? Is it Angel Dust?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a great achievement. There's
achievement in what?
Music. Yeah, this is an album. When I got it, the first rock album, heavy metal album I bought was Faith No More's live at Brixton Academy, and thought that was pretty cool. And then I went out. That was my first heavy metal record, and I thought it was pretty neat. I went to a music store, and this album just came out, and I got it. And I went home, and I was blown away from beginning to end. Basically, that was my listening experience with this record. Yeah, it just came out that day, I think, and I had no idea a new album was on the way. And I got it because I got the live album because I saw Epic on TV and just went, "Holy shit!" That guitar solo, holy moly, an Epic, holy. Yeah. And so I'm an enormous Jim Martin fan. I just love Jim Martin. His guitar work is always incredible. This album, I stuck on Land of Sunshine. I think, a gasp at first at how bouncy it was, but I just dug it. I think Faith No More, this record, it's a sum of its parts. Like each song, every member of the band fits into their own little slot, and maybe they're playing simple parts, but it all comes together to become something greater than greater. I think it's incredible this way this album works. All the songs flow from one to the other. I think Land of Sunshine was written from lyrics from late night TV shows and things. It's a little hard to know what to believe from Mike Patton. He does just make shit up to amuse himself. But great song, great vocal performance, very bouncy, happy song, Land of Sunshine. That would be my comments.
Yeah, I mean, it was an easy into what the album was going to sound like. You know, here's your drum sound, here's your rhythm section. This is what you're going to get. Yeah, that's fine. You know, Patton's Patton. You know, you like his voice or you don't really. He runs the gambit from wonderful crooner to rapper to screamer. It works. That's his thing. Absolutely.
He does.
Yeah.
Does everything.
I did find I was shocked at how like kids Casio keyboard the pianos all sounded. You know, that was the dated part to me, and maybe the slap bass. But yeah,
I don't know. All of it sounds great to me to this day. I don't think anything's dated.
Right. Okay. Great. But
The next song
at the time.
I lived there at the time, but
right.
I still think it sounds fresh if it came out today.
Yeah, this is going to become. You're probably going to have to do the song by song, because for me, with the listens I had, I wasn't making notes on each track, and each track to me sounded fairly indistinguishable from the next. And offense!
Oh my god!
But it just it was easy to skip tracks for me.
I would call Land of Sunshine a bouncy funk pop song.
Okay.
So Caffeine is the one. It starts off, it sounds like dogs and monkeys going at it. And then it's got a pretty punishing guitar riff. Yeah.
Sounds like a hit.
Don't think it was, but
no.
Heavy song. Love it to bits. Love it, and love it. That's my review of that song.
Perfect. What were I'm going to jump around here. What were the singles off this? Obviously, well, no, if you said Easy was added later on, was it just Midlife Crisis? Was that what they threw out for this album?
Midlife Crisis. Everything's Ruined was a single. Yeah, and then they did Easy. I think that's all.
Easy had a video, right? Surely so if that's like it doesn't surprise me that was tacked on at the end. That sounds like, you know, a record company saying, "Oh, we don't hear a single, boys," and they were like, "Oh, we'll just do here's this off character cover." Yeah, I think song.
I think it could well be.
Like thinking, this is the big fuck you to the record company, and then it becomes their biggest hit. How ironic.
Yeah, well, I think it definitely, they released it as a single for some weird reason. And I remember wondering where it came from. And then, saw in the stores it had been re-released with that song added onto it. Originally, the record company didn't have a lot of support for this album. They said, "I hope you lot haven't bought houses," is the famous quote. I think it sold more than they thought it did. If it entered the top 10 of the Billboard, I think it outsold what they thought. And so that maybe the record company got enthusiastic and said, "Hey, boys, do a fucking single for us and we'll put some money into it."
Yeah, right.
Because ultimately, it sounds like it sold more than The Real Thing, which was their big hit.
Yeah, right.
Album they were very excited about. But yeah, they thought this was a weird album too.
Did they go into... what you said, this was their fourth album. It feels like, did they just go into a standard studio with their standard producer to make this one, or did they go somewhere different?
Same guy they used for all four albums. They changed after this. I think I was watching the making of, the interview with the producer the other day. Their first stuff was done on an 8-track that the producer owned. The Real Thing was their first big studio album, and you recorded that on a 24-track. And this album, they increased the budget and went up to a 48-track. So the first album was, they said, about 50 grand, 60 grand to record. This was about 125 grand. So much bigger, more tracks, more ability to mix all sorts of more sounds into it. So Midlife Crisis, you know that song. Huge song.
Do they say, clarify the lyrics for me, do they say menstruating in there a lot? Yep.
The chorus is menstruating. Yeah, you're menstruating, heart ain't bleeding enough for two. Great pop lyrics.
Yeah.
Very commercial.
I don't know why it's not sung at primary schools.
Music video that shows a guy being drawn and quartered. His limbs are tied to horses and they're running in opposite directions to pull them apart, like the medieval
That'll do it.
executions. Yeah, not very commercial, but
things have really changed. Like executing people, it sounds like it was a big fun event. You get the townsfolk together and grab the criminal. Hey, look, mate, you fucking stole my bread or, fiddled with some kids. We're going to tie you to 4 horses. I mean, it seems appropriate, right? The crime
used to be
punishment.
It used to be a good day out for the family, and it's just been, it's shocking that we don't do it anymore. But then I think the public executions is cancel culture, isn't it? I think that tendency to destroy people for no fucking reason is, stuck with us. That's just the way we get a lot of pleasure out of.
Well, is that where it's going? Like cancel culture is going to go from, we're just like cancelling you on the internet to, right, fucking public beheading of Joe Rogan or something, Yeah.
I mean, a total stranger you've never met in your life, never done anything wrong to you, and people hop on the bandwagon of like, destroy them, take their livelihood, fuck them, lose their job forever. We're kind of scumbags.
It's the extreme thing of what we have here in New Zealand, the tall poppy syndrome, right? Cancel culture, I think, is, someone says something wrong and then everybody jumps on, fuck that guy, he's doing better than me, so I want him to come down to my level. It's just that big gang culture. But that was it. That was fucking lynchings. That was, you're saying drawn and quartered. That was feeding Christians to the fucking lions, Hey, let's go to the, imagine that. Let's go to Eden Park. Let's go to fucking Wembley Stadium. We've got a pack of lions from the zoo and 17 or 18 fucking Catholic priests. I'm going to chuck them in there. We're going to see what happens. Sounds like a good time.
Good day out. Bring the kids
together, get some popcorn.
Dad, I got a hand.
Oh, you're fucking lucky. We get some money on eBay for that, son.
Good boy, son. Good boy.
Fucking
I got his cock.
It's going to be a bidding war for this. It's fucking unused Christian cock.
Let me put the cock in the hand.
Son, hold it up next to your face. Let's get a selfie, son.
Hours of fun.
Yeah.
We're about 23 minutes in. I don't think we're going to make it a song-by-song episode.
All right. Hey, this is what the people want. They want smut and storytelling. They're not here to hear about angel dust.
To me, everything's a standout track. I love all of it. But I think Malpractice is kind of the weird song. It sounds like someone having a surgery on them. It has lots of different parts to it. It's a very strange song. It's a Mike Patton composition.
It's a bit of theatre. What was his other band? And
Mr. Bungle.
Was that the one that did an album?
Phantomus you're thinking of.
Yeah, that's it. They were very cinematic. Right.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of.
Malpractice is a song that I can enjoy as a journey, but possibly not as a song, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Depends the mood.
Get it? Yeah. I think the highlight of this album for me, besides Easy and Midlife Crisis, obvious again, sellout Faith No More fan here. I just think looking at the track list.
Small Victory was a single as well. Yeah, I forgot that one.
Okay. But the song titles, like how these days, could you have a song called Crack Hitler? Maybe not. Jizz Lobber, like these
pretty
are
out there stuff.
Song titles. Yeah,
they're great. Yeah, it's apparently about. Sounds like it's about jerking off in prison. That's pretty much
What else is there to do?
What I've heard.
If you don't want to be a big bull queer, you just
either jizzing, lobbing it, or catching a load in the face.
You're either a pitcher or a catcher. You got to decide the day you go in there.
And then Jizz Lobber. Jizz Lobber is followed by Midnight Cowboy, a movie about male prostitutes.
Well, and then the last song's easy. Hey,
Oh,
sensing a theme here.
Be Aggressive. That's a song the gay keyboard player Roddy Bottom wrote the lyrics to, and it's about sucking a guy's cock.
Oh.
And then the song after that is called A Small Victory. once that cock has been sucked.
So you're going to have a midlife crisis. You're going to suck a lot of cock aggressively. It's going to be a small victory. You're going to smoke some crack, lob some jizz, and it's all going to be easy. We've found a hidden theme.
You're having a midlife crisis in an RV. Your cock's getting smaller and smaller. Everything's ruined.
By a malpractice, you were trying to get a cock enlargement, and it got smaller and smaller. So everything was ruined by malpractice.
Then you go to the kindergarten. You get really fucking aggressive. Fucking cock. It's a small victory. Then you do some crack, and you lob some jizz in prison with a male prostitute, and it was all so easy.
It was all so easy. Well done, Faith No More. Well done.
Theme album.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I love this album. I give it a 5 out of 5, even though there's a malpractice is a bit hit and miss for me, but I still think it's an interesting listen. I just love it. And Easy is a wonderful inclusion too.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic version of a song. It's one of those, you hear certain songs throughout the ages of music where every note's in the right place and everything's played perfectly and it's recorded perfectly. That's Faith No More's Easy, I think. It's obviously, to me, it sounds like a piss take, but it's a piss take that became a brilliant song. It's better than the original, I think.
Room full of trannies in that video.
Room full of trannies.
Or non-binary, or whatever we call them now. Spotify listens.
Trans.
You're right. Easy, clear winner. Only 126 million listens, though.
Wow.
That surprised me. Next biggest hit, Midlife Crisis, only gets 49 million listens on the Spotify machine, and every other song is fuck all, basically.
Wow. So, but if you bring up Faith No More on the whole, their biggest song, is it going to be Easy, or have they got is Epic bigger?
I'd say Epic, but I'd have to click on the buttons.
I've just brought it up. Yep. So Epic, we got 153 million to Easy's 126. So yeah, takes it.
That's pretty close for them.
Yep. Epic, Easy, Midlife Crisis, Ashes to Ashes, which is a banger, but that's way down. That's only 25 mil. And then We Care a Lot is number 5 with 11 mil.
I have to say, this is a great band that seems to slip through the cracks a little bit. It's always one of their problems, but
I think their problem is they never sold out,
No, well, when you're saying songs are called Be Aggressive about sucking cocks and swallowing cum and crack Hitlers and shit, it's a little not surprising.
It's a niche market. Yeah.
But they stay true, don't they? Right to the end.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So we're about 28 minutes. So what are you going to rate this motherfucker? This goddamn son of a bitch, Brad.
I'll mix 2 sections up into one: the skippability and the rating. Now, the skippability for me, it's a real easy skip. Unfortunately, almost the whole thing. You have to be in the Faith No More zone to force your way through it. Well, not force. I did anyway. Then you get to Easy, and that's an easy listen, right? So yeah, I'm giving it a lot of skips, but I appreciate where it is, in other people's minds, that it's a great Faith No More album, and I see it, but I'm giving it. I'm only going to give it 2 Lionels out of 5 Richies.
Okay. Well, for me, I think Malpractice is a borderline song, which is a song I may skip or may not. But everything else I love. I think it's great. 13 songs, 58 minutes. I'm going to give this 10 jizz swallows out of 10. I will guzzle all of it. I swallow.
Taking it.
I swallow.
Right.
I swallow. Yeah. I'm taking the whole thing, Brad. I'm taking the whole thing.
Sweet. You're taking balls on your chin for Faith No More.
All day long and twice on Sunday.
These nuts.
These nuts. All right. I think we've done it. Another fine review.
Right.
Like, follow, subscribe, and jizz all you want. You're in prison, so fuck, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm with Dan.